So let's start with the Floyd Warshall algorithm. If you see the algorithm, there are only 5 steps in algorithm. First step simply tells you Floyd Warshall algorithm will take graph as an input, that is W written there, and your graph is normally represented in a form of adjacency matrix. So in that matrix, number of rows you calculate and putting the value as a n. So n is number of rows in my adjacency matrix, and initially whatever weights you have, you are simply representing that graph in adjacency matrix. So what is D0? D0 is nothing, it's a representation of your graph weights in form of adjacency matrix. So first thing I think you have understood now what is the meaning of D to the power 0. Means this is a matrix with 0 length and it is representing nothing, it's basically a adjacency matrix as we have done for any graph. Now in the third step we will run this particular algorithm for how many times? Number of n. Whatever the number of rows we are getting in our matrix, that much number of times we have to do this. Means what? That much number of this matrix we need to generate. Fine. So path from one length to n length we need to generate. And second, inside you have only 2 for loops for reading from I1 to n and j from n to n in our adjacency matrix. And every time during that reading you are updating the cost matrix based on this value. That is the minimum of out of this and this. I will explain these 2 points in detail. And at last you are returning which matrix? D power n. So whatever is the number of row, that is that much number of matrix you need to generate. So let's take an example and try to understand what is the meaning of this step and how basically your loop runs from 1 to n. Fine. So this is a very simple things written in particular algorithm of Floyd Warshall. So after understanding the questions, you will come to know how basically things are updated by using this formula. Fine. So I have mentioned 2 questions, but before going to question number 2, I will keep in question number 1. So if you see these questions, there are 5 vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Means what? First of all, according to the algorithm, you will represent this graph using adjacency matrix. What will be the representation of that adjacency matrix? That will be known as d power 0. So how many number of vertex are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 cross 5. That is the representation. And wherever there is a path, if there is self loop, then you will mention that path. As all the vertex have no loops, so all the diagonal elements will be 0. 2 to 2 will be 0, 3 to 3 will be 0. So first of all you mention all the diagonal element as 0. And second, if there is a path from 1 to 2, how much cost is involved? 3. So you simply write it here. Cost of 1 to 3, 8. Cost of 1 to 5 is minus 4. If any vertex is not reachable directly from outgoing edge of 1, we will write right now infinity. So 1 to 4 directly not reachable. So we will simply write infinity here. So same way we will do for other vertices also. So this you have got as a what? As adjacency matrix, and that matrix is known as D0 matrix. Now in all pair shortest path we will generate how many number of this kind of matrix based on number of vertex we have. So we need to require to generate, because at last we need to return d power n. How many number of matrix you need to generate? D power 1, D power 2, D power 3, D power 4 and D power 5. Finally we return what? D power 5. That matrix will give us answer of our all pair shortest path between all the vertices. Fine. So D0 is nothing, it's basically an adjacency matrix. From D0 matrix we will generate D1 matrix, and from D1 matrix we will generate D2 matrix. From D2 matrix we will generate D3 matrix and D4 and at last D5 and so on. If number of vertices are more than 5, we will generate that much. But how many matrices you need to generate? That all depends on number of vertex in my graph. As there are 5 vertex, so we will generate d power 5. Fine. So d power 0 is adjacency matrix, and 5 more matrix you need to generate by using d power 0. So fine. So first of all you got the answer of d0. Now we look into how basically we can go to d raised power 1. So if you see the solution here, I have just made the solution here. So from d power 0 you could generate d power 1 matrix. How to get all these value, I will explain one by one. So first of all, if you want to generate d1 matrix, then what you have to do, you need to select from d0 matrix first row and first column as it is. So you just simply select all these elements as it is and put this first row and first column elements value in the same way where in your D1 matrix. You can see. So D1 matrix first row and first columns is same as we have done in D0 matrix. Fine. And second thing what you have to do, diagonal element you need to keep as it is 0, means 0 I have made it all the diagonal elements as a 0. Now from here you try to understand what are the next element that you need to generate. Let's say you have got this element directly, first row, first column, diagonal element you got as a 0. Let's see